In this video, I'm going to explain the fix we did on this 1992 Toyota Camry XV10. We bought it broken. Well, my friend bought it broken. It wouldn't run. It had problems starting and even running after that. We knew it was a decently big problem, not a simple fix. So we got it home. Here's a picture right after we got it home. The first thing we did was, or he did, was switch out the ECU. Tried some simple things to see if it changed anything, but then we did a compression test in this picture. We found that cylinder 1, I'm pretty sure, had no compression, or very little. All other cylinders had great compression, 190 psi if I'm correct. So we knew something was wrong with that. Something has to do with piston 1. So just for clarification, this is the engine model is a 3VZ-FE, the 6-cylinder version on the Camry. So we pulled off, or my friend pulled off the cylinder head and the rear cylinder head, actually both, but the rear one first. Turns out a valve was sticking out like this in this picture. And there, obviously we knew there was a problem. There was also a mark on the piston from it slapping against it. So yeah, something happened. Pretty sure the spring broke. I'll show you a picture of the spring, which made the valve just fall right down and then get hit by the piston, bending the valve. So here's a picture of valve spring that's rusted. The valve spring that broke right where obviously the rust was, and then the valve hit the piston. So here's a video he got working on getting all the valves out. The idea was to replace all the valves, all the valve seals, all the gaskets, head gasket, and then the seal along the top of the cylinder head here. He actually did all that in both cylinder heads, so not just one. So it has a whole new valve train on it. This is him just taking out the valves with a special tool. I'm not sure what it's called. There's the spring, then pushes the valve through, and there it is. That's not the bent one. Here's the bent one right up here. So yeah, here's the valve. It's bent to hell. This clip is kind of pointless. It's just showing the front cylinder head off and just the side of the car and stuff. There's the one cylinder head that the valves were being taken out of. But again, he took the valves out of both cylinder heads. And there's the springs and valves, just a couple of them that he first took out. Buckets, bolts. Those are the camshafts. Some of the valve springs were in better condition than others. These are just the brand new springs that were purchased. Not all of them, just some of them. This is one of the brand new head gaskets. Also, the timing belt was replaced now because it had to be taken off anyway to service the cylinder heads. Accessory belts were replaced. Nothing else really, just did some things while we had it all apart. Here's the rebuild of the cylinder heads. New valve seals got put in. Those are buckets being put in. Cams are in. Another picture of the cams. The spacing was checked also between the lobes and the buckets. Just more pictures of the process. Here's just a video of once the head was together, or after the head was together and the spacing was checked. The cams were pulled out because you need them out to get the bolts into the block. So the cylinder head was attached, torqued on there to spec, and then the cams were put back on. Here's the cylinder heads being torqued on. So here all the cams are on and it's ready to be timed. Now in this next video it's very important, the timing marks. So on the cam gears, there will be, on the front ones there will be single dots that you have to line up, the two cam gears. And on the back ones there will be double dots that you have to line up. And the front one, the top dead center on the timing belt pulley attached to the front cam, the driver cam, it will line up to top dead center when the two single dots are together. But the rear cams, when the two double dots are lined up, the pulley will not be at top dead center. You are supposed to turn it to top dead center after the cam gears are lined up at their double dots. Now also one thing to watch out for is when you put on the pulley to the rear cam, there is a 4V mark and a 3V mark. Make sure you put the dowel into the 3V mark hole, because that's how you're supposed to do it, and it's easy to mess that up because you think it would only go into the one that's right, which is the 3V. So make sure you put it in the 3V. And then yeah, just watch this video. My friend explains it a bit better.
So basically, after you like change the head gasket in your Camry, I'm working on the 3VZ-FE engine. When you put the cams together, you'll notice that there's single dots on the gears. You line those up, and then on the back ones there's double dots, and you line those up. And then when you put these pulleys on, you'll notice that this one goes on, and the timing mark on the pulley here matches up just fine with this housing on the back. But then when you put the pulley on the back, you'll notice that it's like 180 degrees out. So you just ignore like the dots on the cam gears and you put it on there. You'll see like a 4V on one of the spokes of the pulley, and then there'll be a 3V on the other one. And yeah, you just bolt that on there and you rotate it so it lines up. So just ignore the dots on the cam gear.
But at first you line the dots up on the cam gear.
Yeah, at first you line them up because the only reason the dots are there, you just putting the cams in sync so that the exhaust and the intake aren't going at the same time, obviously. So yeah, once you get that all done, then you want to make sure that your crankshaft pulley is set to 0 degrees, and that all the marks on your belt are properly positioned. You have like your left cam, so that goes to that mark, which lines up with this on the housing. Same with the back. You have that mark on there, and then mark on the belt with the housing. And it's okay if it's like half a degree off, as long as it's not one tooth. But it's fine until you get the tensioner on there. Just check it with take like a wrench and push the cam a bit. But make sure that all your marks line up. And then after you do that, put your tensioner on there, tighten the belt, and rotate the engine twice. 2 full rotations. Make sure the marks go around twice. You want to check all the marks again to make sure that they're all lined up and that nothing interferes.
So yeah, after the timing was done, all the accessory belts were put back on. The headers, everything was put back together, good to go. Then next is a picture. So yeah, he redid a lot of the interior. It's still not done yet. But yeah, it's ready to go for a little test drive. Next clip is just starting it up for one of the first times. If you're wondering about the harsh smoke coming out of the exhaust in the next couple clips because of revving it, it's because of the really stale fuel that's in there. It's been in there for probably a year, so yeah, just disregard that.